I'm just like, I'm like looking at my face. I have to be mindful of it because
We're
I'm
live.
like, oh,
We're live.
Oh, we're live now. Okay,
We're
here we go.
live. That was the
oh
that was the,
shit.
that was the first thing.
Oh,
Uh,
sick.
what is up? Here I go, already messing up. What is up, Scream Team? This is a very special occasion and live stream that we're doing tonight. I should probably close my balcony door because of all that shit out there. But welcome. As you've probably noticed over the last couple of weeks or however long I've been promoting it, I am making a movie. It is called Macabre, and I am joined tonight by the wonderful people who I'm making it with. So over here, I'm pointing this way, is Erik. Which says his name
Hey.
underneath. Erik Champney, who is my co-writer and co-director. Underneath Erik is Randy Borruso, who is. What do you?
Sorry.
Do you have a soundboard over there?
I have like a little button.
I
okay.
told him. I
Sorry.
told him no.
Sorry.
I told him no.
She was like, "No, don't do it." I was like, "I'm gonna do it."
Just yeah, no, do whatever you got to do because this is everyone's opportunity to meet the real Randy Borruso, who is our executive
Oh
producer.
God.
Uh, and right next to him is the lovely China Perruccio, who is the star of our movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow! Gotta get used to hearing that, huh?
I know.
Own it.
Woohoo!
Period.
But we're here tonight to kind of celebrate the launch of the Macabre Kickstarter, which went live this morning, 12 hours ago. We are already at 15% of our $40,000 projected budget. So underneath me, you will see the pledge counter, which, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll go up as we are going through this live stream. We're going to be with you for a bit tonight. But yeah, $6,026, 40 backers. So we're 15% the way to our goal, which is pretty fucking awesome. If I do say so myself. So we're going to be hanging out here. We're going to be answering your questions. We're going to be chatting a little bit about, who we are and what we do and what our rules are on movies and, projects that we've worked on in the past. And we're going to, talk a little bit about the campaign and the cool merch or swag, if you will, that comes with
It's
supporting
some
us.
swag. It's some sexy swag.
It's swag. Yeah. So before we take a look at some of the comments, I'll throw it over to you first, Erik. How's it going tonight?
It's going pretty well. We have been in a state of suspense for the last 3 months as we've prepared with a fine-tooth comb, arduously and passionately, this campaign, this beautiful campaign that we're so proud of. I think that it's an exemplary presentation of exactly how a campaign should ever look. And I say that with humility, but there's also it's been an extremely exciting day because we launched the campaign and we kind of just started shooting for the moon, and people have been pledging and signing up and then getting themselves all set up for not only to help us fund the movie, but to get some really fantastic products in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very well articulated.
I just wanted to quickly, because you mentioned the campaign and setting that up, I wanted to shout out Vincent DeSanti from Womp Stomp Films, who was a huge help to us. I reached out to him, and he really gave us a lot of just information and feedback on how to do it. So, you know, I don't even think we would have been able to get to the point where we were with the campaign had it not been for his help. So huge thank you to him.
He gave us an incredible amount of beautiful advice. He really stepped up to the plate for us. Zach reached out to him, and then we had a really wonderful conversation, and he sent us a laundry list of do's and don'ts when it comes to campaigns. And it was, at first you look at it and it's like, oh my God, we couldn't do this.
And if you're unfamiliar with Vincent or Womp Stomp Films, he is the one who, you know, put together all the Friday the 13th fan films, Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike in the Snow. So he's got a whole bunch of other projects that he's successfully crowdfunded. So check him out.
And Dylan's New Nightmare, the follow-up to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, right?
Yes, I think that he helped with that campaign. I'm not sure if that was his specifically, but he does do the Friday the 13th ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Randy, what's going on over there?
What's up? Well, today was really cool, man. You know, I've gotten the chance to work with you guys sort of adjacently on this. Like, you guys really took the wheel when it came to creating the campaign and the art direction, and I really do have to hand it to you guys for doing such a good job, because it's not every day that you get to work on a project where everything is so cohesive and well thought out and well executed. You know, a lot of times on some of these projects that I've worked on, other projects, you know, it's tough to find the exact direction. But the nice thing about working with Erik in the past is he knows exactly what he wants. And so it was really interesting that he was able to find somebody who to work with that the sort of like the synchrony.
Synchronization?
Yeah, synchronization. Synchronicity? I don't know. They like the sort of just like you just like really combined and you know, 1 + 1 = 3 kind of thing instead of the usual 1 + 1 = 2. It was really very impressive to see you guys work and come up with a lot of this stuff where you guys would send me something, and a lot of the times it was just like, yeah, that's it. You know, like I don't need to. There's no notes on my end. Like, oh, here's some ideas for the poster. Yeah, this is great, guys. Here's the poster. Oh my God! Which, by the way, if anyone's watching, you can get the poster via pledging to our campaign. It's a beautiful poster. It's nice and crisp. Looks amazing. Do we have any prints on hand?
I do have it here. I can show it off in a second, but I did want to point out that we just went up 2 pledges. I feel like we're PBS. Wow. We're PBS
awesome.
Here. But
okay.
yeah, so if you
keep an eye on that,
look,
I can't see it.
Look at the counter underneath for those of you who are watching. So we
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's updating on my phone, so I can even shout you guys out as you're doing this. But thank you to Creaky Genie and Sean.
Love a Creaky Genie. And sorry, I interrupted that.
Creaky Genie and Sean.
Sean, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Love that.
Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Sean.
It's been awesome all day. Like I work, you know, a normal engineering job during the day, and you know, it was fun just like being on my phone and just like, you know, ding. I mean, I had, you know, it's on vibrate, but like, you know, just like all the notifications of just people supporting the film. It's just been really overwhelming, honestly, to see just how excited people are. You know, everyone that's been commenting on our post on Instagram, just loving the poster and loving the content that we have. It makes me really excited. And I was very confident when I saw a lot of these things at first, but it always is a next level. Like, okay, like the whole purpose of this for me is like to bring awesome, unique entertainment to people, and for everyone to be as hyped about it as we are. That's just, you know, kind of like the icing on the cake, really.
Yeah. And your production company, the poster's just behind you, Historic House.
Sorry, babe.
Yeah.
I designed it.
And
yeah, Erik actually. And do we do a little history on where it came from, really briefly? This was the first shot of our first film was of the house that I used to live in, and I'm pretty sure Erik grabbed this and did some fun graphical design stuff to give me this, and it's amazing. So
I
I've
found
kept
that
with it ever
beautiful
since.
font, and
Yeah.
it was weird because what did I do? Did I just decide one day I was going to do it?
Yeah, because I think, well, I won't say what my company used to be named, but you pretty much were like, well, that can't be your company name. And I was like, well, Erik, you're probably right. Okay, fine. And so then I was like, what do
It
I
wasn't
name
that easy. It wasn't.
No,
that
it wasn't that evil. We're telling the story, everybody. So, um, so I was living in a house that was his part of the historical house like society in Connecticut. It had a plaque on it and everything. The previous house that I was renting, and so I was like, what about historic house productions? Like I was just like, it seems so obvious, but I sent it to Erik, and he's like, I actually really like that. And so that pretty much just became the company name. And then when he made this, that sealed the deal because that's just so cool. And then later on, when I was doing a different film, I had made just a very simple TV animation of the logo, which looks really cool. It's not too, there's something about like an over animated logo that can sometimes be, I don't know if pretentious is the right word, but if it's like too over animated, like something, it's like, are we starting the movie or is this the company name? Even Family Guy, I think, had a joke about it at one point.
Well, what's really funny is when there's this fabulous, incredible logo that's animated and doing things, and it's like, oh, what's this movie gonna be? And then the movie happens.
Yeah, and it's like, you just want to make sure, like for me, I don't want it to take away too much too. I want it to just be like, here's the logo, here's the company, and let's get into the good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And then also, Erik, behind you is the poster for the second film that you guys did together, The Screens, which and that, I mean, on the poster, that is Harvey, who is also in our movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he is in the movie.
Yeah.
The Screens is in festivals right now. It's been touring North America after a really successful premiere in Italy, and a very, very, very successful premiere in Italy. And we're going to another festival in September. We're still waiting to hear back from 3 more, and but it's been doing well. Festivals are incredible because not only do you get to see your film as it's meant to be seen on these big, beautiful screens, but you also get to meet these incredibly brilliant, talented, open filmmakers who are like-minded and want to connect and want to collaborate. And that's what Randy and I are really good at, is meeting people at festivals. So that's something that we're really, really good at.
Yeah, it's saying hello, seeing what's up, it's you realize too that there's actually a lot of positivity in the film space, where there's a lot of creative people trying to make and succeeding to make really great films. I think sometimes
here's a situation in the comments.
I have made Silent Saturn a moderator because he's my guy, and it's being taken care of.
Thank you. Okay. Everybody,
sorry,
please forgive that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, anyhow, all I was really saying is that there's a lot of wonderful people that you meet at these festivals, and you never know who you end up meeting, and this person leads to that, and oh my goodness, we made this connection, and actually I think maybe we might even collaborate in the future on another film. So the festival circuit is beneficial in many, many ways to just about anyone that has the chance and opportunity to go. Aside just from getting, to see your film on a screen, it's a lot more in depth than that. And if you're willing to talk to people, I think that's the tricky part, is you do have to be a bit of a social person in order to, I think, make the most of it, or at least have someone in your team that is a social person.
Not only do you get to see the movie, but other people get to see your movie. Like audiences get to see your movie, and you get to get that organic, like, flat out response. And typically, if you're present for your film being screened, at the end of it, they bring you up front and do a Q&A. you can answer all kinds of questions about what does it mean, or what is it about, or where did this come from, or who the hell are you, and why are you here? And it's a circus, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Festivals are fun.
Thank you to Cassandra, just pledged. So sorry, we got a little sidetracked, but all of that is really helpful information. And thank you. You know, I you know, got some trusted folks in the chat who I've made moderators now. So they're on it. Thank you.
Whoa.
I've never done, like, I don't live stream very often. Like, I do it once a month for Patreon, but everyone who's on Patreon is cool, and you never run into those issues. Yeah,
Amazing people.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah,
I'll have to chat you guys up afterwards about what was going on, because I missed it. I'd love to hear about it, but we'll
Absolutely
move on.
nothing.
It's nothing that needs to really
Yeah,
repeat.
no,
It's not even.
thank
It's not. It doesn't even need to be dignified. But yeah, I've got the.
yeah.
Oh no.
I've got the poster. I got everything here. Physical thing. I mean, I've got the shirt, which
I know.
Eric
Jealous.
has as well.
Yeah,
You're-
Adam even sent me a message. He's like, "Bro, I got to get me one of them shirts."
So jealous.
Mhm.
They're sexy, and
Yeah.
and we at the very last minute changed the design of the shirt.
Really?
Yeah. We were originally going to. Can we talk about this? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
We were originally going to put the poster art on the shirt, and so
Okay.
Zach and I both got prototypes of this shirt, and we were like, okay, and then we were talking about it and realizing we don't like the texture of it. We don't like how it feels on our bodies. And then I was like, you know what, Zach? I would never wear this shirt.
Yeah.
I would never wear this shirt. And so we came back around to the logo is incredible all by itself, and it's
Yeah.
simple, it's sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Love
I could
it.
almost kind of back to like doing too much. Like, I kind of see what you mean. Like having the poster plus the thing. It's like it's a lot. It's a
Less
lot
is
going on.
more.
Yeah.
And also Matthew Terrian, who did the poster art, designed the logo as well, and you know, just did a phenomenal job. But I've got the poster here.
I need that too.
So
I need
this
that
is,
too.
There it is.
This is it.
Oh my
Macabre.
God.
Do we talk about the pronunciation of the word?
You should, because
Yeah.
everybody's been saying macabre to me, and I'm like, no, I promise it's macabre.
Yeah. Well, Eric, you and I had a kind of like an argument about it. Well, a debate of like how.
We had a frustrating frustrated conversation where we were both, yeah.
Because the word is like, there's the American, like, United States pronunciation, which is macabre, and then there's the like the British English, which is like also the Canadian version, which is macabre.
Okay.
And
So maybe that's why, one of them was Harvey. Harvey was like macabre,
well, because yeah, he's
being all
English, so
being all
he,
English about it. Yeah.
macabre.
And I was like, no, man, it's macabre. And he's like, I don't know, mate. And I was like, it was like the, tomato thing, really.
And then we heard a Macabre the other day, which I thought was like sarcasm, but I don't want to say who, but I thought it was cute.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
Macabre, huh?
Oh no,
Macabre.
that was very cute. It
Yeah.
was actually really cute. It was like,
Oh,
aw,
okay.
like
Then I know who it is. Okay.
no,
Yeah.
it fit. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was adorable. And
Yeah.
and a charming moment that I adore. Are you going to show them the limited?
Yeah. We also
Oh,
we have
yeah,
a
this one's sick, too.
we have a limited edition one, which is the red variant, which we're calling the Jallo Red.
Okay, I need the red one.
Limited edition.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
need
if
the
you
red
were,
one.
call in now, the limited edition.
Limited edition.
There's so many D's going on in that phrase. Limited edition. There's just a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
going on.
There's
lot of
there's
alliteration.
100 of them, so I mean I have to like check Kickstarter, because I don't know if anyone's added any to their orders to see like there's got to be a way to see how many are left. But
It's an add-on. It's an add-on.
it's an add-on.
Oh, it's an add-on. Okay.
It's an exclusive. There's add-ons like you can get these posters signed. You can get the script signed by us with like personal messages. Like that's the thing. Like when the campaign is over, we're gonna send surveys to everyone to get like information of just like the requests for like what size shirt you have and what you want signed on your poster or script or which posters you want if you get multiple. So there's a lot of ways to customize your rewards, which is really cool. But there's also because like these are all curated tiers that we have. There's also some people that just want to kind of give something to the campaign that probably they can't afford a whole lot, and I've seen some people start to do that, like whether they throw $10 or $15. You can pledge an amount without a reward, so that I believe is like the option at the top. So I think you can even throw $1.
And all of it's great. We appreciate everything that any of you contribute. It really does mean a lot.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, because we had this conversation, we're just like, I mean, I have 136,000 subscribers. It's just like if everyone pledged $1, like we could do this and more. And it's just like, but that's not realistic. But it could like $1 for eternal happiness. Send it here.
But the tier levels, do you want to talk about the tier levels?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first tier level, which is the digital access is what we have called it, is $25, and that is for access to the movie. When we've completed the movie and the movie has finished its film festival circuit. So, obviously you're putting money towards the movie. You want to have it and be able to watch it. So that's going to be the first perk. Did we want to talk about like physical media right now? Because I feel like that might be a big question that comes up.
If you feel we're ready to talk about it,
I would like to, because I like physical media.
Yeah.
I mean, look behind us, like Erik and I. Like we like we're physical media people. But it's we would love to have Macabre on physical media one day. The purpose of this campaign right now is to make the short film, which is essentially the prologue to the feature. So we can use that as a proof of concept so we can then make the feature. And believe us, when we make the feature, all of that is going to be on physical media. So this is like, we have every intention of getting it on physical media come hell or high water. It's just for now, the easiest way we can do this is kind of like get through the process, because this is the first step.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me, man. Like it's, it's like, I think when I created, I think for Dana, I made like one physical media version. And that's because, Dana's like my acting mentor. And he said that The Screens was his favorite movie of 2023. Like he said, he went to the movie theater so many times. He said he watches The Screens at least once weekly. So he was like, he was in Tuesday, he's just our charming old, acting dad at this point. So, but like, as far as creating mass amounts of physical media for shorts, I mean, I don't know. Is that something that even is typical? I have never really heard of that before.
I'm not sure, but there are some Kickstarter campaigns that are making short films that are, have that on physical media as a reward. I think it's just like the production of it, like to produce and distribute that would just be so costly that, again, like we're trying to make a movie, we're trying to make the short film, and then we're trying to make the feature. So it's like we want to put all of our focus and energy now into making that happen, and then the physical media, like when production companies and distributors come aboard, hoping that they do, that will be something that is then kind of in their ball court.
Zach, I think we should talk about the logistics of exactly the purpose the short film of Macabre is serving ultimately in the long run.
Well, let's get through the rewards first because we're
Oh yeah, we
jumping all
didn't get
over.
through those yet.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
to like step 1, and we're like, anyway.
We're like 3 very like different, well, 4 because China is here as well, but like I've said like Randy, Eric, and I, like we each bring our own, like we're like the power of 3. We're like the Charm Sisters, and we're just bringing our own special energy to this, and that's why like we've been able to come as far as we have. And China, you can be Rose McGowan when she came on later on. But
I'm just here for the vibes.
the
You made me Piper, didn't you? Didn't you make me Piper?
Are you Piper?
Did you say I was Piper?
Look, I watched the first 3 seasons. I didn't watch after Shannon left. R.I.P. By the way. But I couldn't.
I know, right?
I couldn't get into it. But yeah, so tier 1, that's the digital access. Tier 2 is going to be the poster, which also comes with the digital access. Tier 3, you've got the shirt, you've got the poster, you've got the digital access, and then tier 4, we're starting to go into some more interesting stuff. So we've got storyboards that Matthew had also drawn for us. So these are storyboards from the
Oh wow,
short.
those are sweet.
Yeah, so you can see here. I should also ask anyone if that looks familiar to you, because you might know that from somewhere. Here we've got another one. Our movie is set in an art gallery. So it's kind of a concept of the space. And then one more shot of a shadowy figure in a stairwell.
Coming for China. All of those women are China. like in the museum, you see both of our actresses. The other one is Siobhan Hampton, but the woman who's hiding and running and all that's China. She's gonna be hiding and running for us.
A lot of hiding, a lot of running.
Yeah. And then also with that, we've got the script, which
Hey.
I've bound together in this lovely.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
That looks amazing.
Yeah. So if you want
I
to.
want all of that. What?
Well, I mean, you're definitely going to get a script, so.
Well, no.
It's all improv.
No.
So I mean, if you if you want to get the script before you see the movie, that's available, absolutely. And then after that, we have special thanks in the credits, so you can have your name at the end of the movie. And then above that, it's a huge leap. It starts going into the producer tiers. So starting at associate producer, you will be credited as an associate producer, and also on IMDb. If you want your name on the internet like that, it's pretty cool. Co-producer.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Randy.
I was just going to say that the associate producer credit is no longer, and well, I mean, maybe I'm speaking a little too soon because I'm not sure how you'll end up doing the credits, but I'm pretty sure associate producers get their own special title card, like whether that's at the end or the beginning, as opposed to like special thanks kind of is great because your name's in the film, but associate producer credit, you have your own separate, like you'll see
you will be associate producer, and then the list of associate producers all by themselves in big beautiful letters in the credits of the film.
Yeah. And you'll be searchable on IMDb, which is
also very cool.
Cool, yeah, pretty nifty. Co-producer, drawing a blank here. I got to go look it up because it's been a minute since I've looked at the campaign, and I haven't slept since last night. Believe it or not.
Not even a nap.
I had like a little bit of a nap, bit of a nap.
Like the campaign launched and you were like, ah.
No, the campaign launched and we were like, ah, and then eventually I think that we both like tried to go and lay down and stop. for a little
Yeah,
bit.
don't forget to sleep tonight.
I
Please.
will. That's a must. I remember. I mean, I looked. I know. So starting with co-producer, you will get early digital access to the movie. So because you're a producer, like everyone else will have to wait while it goes through film festivals. You will see it as soon as we're finished post-production. Like it'll be there for you to watch. You'll also be credited in the film and on IMDb as a co-producer. And then above that is our executive producer, and this is very exclusive. There's only 8 available. But this, it's everything that was included before. That's the thing with the tiers. They come with everything that was before it. But with this, you will actually be invited to join us for production meetings via Zoom. So if you want to kind of hang out with us while we're talking about the movie and know all of that and kind of get a look
There's some
behind the
cool
scenes.
meetings too.
Yeah.
There's some cool meetings. I think one of my favorites is like the color production meeting. So that's when we're actually in like a, color studio, and, you'd get the chance to kind of sit there and watch the film actually be colored. I mean, that's a pretty crazy thing. If you've never seen it before, you'd be very surprised to what level a film is completely changed by the coloring process. And we kind of think about color as in like, oh, coloring, like paint by number, but coloring sometimes means like focus and exposure control. So you can change a whole scene just based around putting a globe around somebody and highlighting that person and then kind of suppressing the light behind them. Now all of a sudden that scene is completely changed, sort of shifts your focus to a certain area. And so that process, if you've never been a part of it before and you're curious about some of the more intricacies of what it's like to actually be behind the scenes making a movie, the executive producer credit and section is definitely for you, for those that are a lot more serious about the filmmaking process and maybe just interested. Maybe you haven't made a film yet, but you're curious, like, ooh, I think I might actually want to make a film. This is a really great way to sort of introduce you to the process of what making a movie is actually like.
And on top of that, the team that our executive producers would be teaming up with is an incredible group of people, and we're a lot of fun. We make damn good films, but we have a really damn good time doing it.
Yeah,
and
that's actually a really important part, because you would be it's good. You would be really surprised just how many movies are made in misery, which happens. It happens a lot, where you get to see the flashy stuff on the red carpet of everyone being like, but behind the scenes, an editor was holding the film hostage and wouldn't release it to you unless you agreed with them, or you had a star that was really diva-ish, or maybe you had a director that was there's all sorts of things that could go awry, and because there's so many personalities in this business. But if there's one thing that I've learned with working with Erik in particular and getting the recent chance to work with Zach, is that you're coming onto a team full of people that are ready to have fun and are in this for the fun of it. I think, Erik, your first film was with me when we did Tuesday, and that was your first directing gig. And
that's how we learned how to make movies, is through doing Tuesday.
And I think that was because you had never directed a film.
Like festivals all over the world.
Yeah, and that was like the big thing, was that Erik didn't even know how good of a film director he was until that movie happened. And then everyone on set, all the crew, and that's where I learned that I was a good producer, because you get on sets with all these people and they're like, oh my God, this is the most fun I've ever had. And you're talking to people that have been on sets with Tom Cruise, and you're talking to people that have been on sets with Shia LaBeouf, and they're saying this is some of the best fun I've ever had. And a lot of that comes down to how you treat your crew, how you treat the people around you. Basic respect goes a long way. You would be surprised how much just saying hello to people and good morning and, hey, do you need something? It's we treat our people well here, and we're out to have fun and make some really cool stuff.
Right.
I
it's like one of the things that I say.
I got a hype woman with me.
we gotta do some shout outs here because we've hiked up quite a bit here.
Amazing.
Yeah, so thank you to Jalen. Thank you to Elena. Thank you to Michael. Thank you to Kayla. Thank you to, I don't know if this is a different Michael, but thank you to Michael, who actually has pledged to be an associate producer.
Wow, fantastic!
Yeah.
Hey.
Welcome
Yeah.
aboard. Welcome aboard, all of you.
Love you, Boo Boo.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We love all of you.
And then,
We
well,
love
then-
all of
whoa,
you,
oh,
but-
still
we got more. Hold
And
up,
then-
hold the phone.
Thank
Okay.
you to Joey, and thank you to Damon. Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay,
We-
that's it.
We've got 50 backers now. We are at 7,392. Let me check to see what percentage that is because that's
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Pretty good.
That's
pretty cool. We're day one. This is day one of the campaign.
That's
Eight-
amazing. Happy tears.
18% funded. That's incredible.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go.
18% funded in, geez, how many hours?
12 and a half.
13
Wow.
hours?
Yeah.
Well, less than 13 hours? That's
That's
insane.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Everyone,
Yeah.
seriously, thank you so much. This really does mean the world because it's people like you that allow us to do these things and keep us going. You know, I mean, this is one of those things. I think with film in particular, there's something very satisfying about the filmmaking process because you have, and this is really great for those of you that do get the tier that gets you the script, because you'll get to try to imagine in your head, just based on the script, what might be filmed, right? But the magic of filmmaking is just how much the script itself can come to life in ways that you probably won't expect, just from the camera work to the direction to, there's so much, the color editing, like I mentioned before. So getting in on the ground floor and really being one of our first backers and following us through this whole journey will be a ton of fun for you that really like filmmaking and like Zach. And, you know, this is his first movie. So big shout out to Zach there. Like, it's a big endeavor to take up.
He's a natural, and he fits right in. And
Yeah.
Thank you.
the well, you do. And the coolest part is having a draft of a script and reading it and then seeing the film. What's really exciting is the things that can change between what you read on the page and what ends up on screen. Because when you're shooting a film, decisions are made, alterations are made, revisions are made. And so that's actually kind of exciting to like have an idea of what the original starting point is, all the way to what you see on the screen. Like when we were doing the screens, I was cutting dialogue out of the screens when we were in editing.
Yeah.
And reversing things and changing things and experimenting with things to get to the cut that we have. And it's just the entire process from shooting to editing to sound, putting the score on top of it. The music changes everything. It's really just amazing. Movies are so cool.
Yeah, movies I really do think are a big conglomeration of all of the arts put together. You know, you have the music and the, you know, artistic direction and the motion of it and the dialogue of it. And there's just, it really is just about every art form put into one. And, you know, in this one, we literally have art in it. So,
Yes.
you know, with this, we're really covering all the bases here. So I think, you know,
I'm really excited to, you know, when we get to, you know, kind of collaborate with artists to kind of bring things in and, you know, make this setting, you know, come to life in that way. And I think that's what's really exciting about, you know, like just what we're doing right now, because I mean, we could, you know, we've set our goal at $40,000, which I think was pretty cool because that was the amount of money that Marianne Crane stole at the beginning of Psycho. But it's also it's kind of the bare minimum. But even at the bare minimum, like these two over here, like know how to take that and make the best possible product out of it that you could get. if we're like overfunded, because that's where our stretch goals come in. There's so much more that we could do with this short film and beyond, because there's so many things that we want to do with the feature length movie. Like, we're very much like in the short film right now, but like we've already written most of the feature. We already know the movie. We have the outline of it. We know how it ends. We know how to get there. We just gotta kind of finesse it all together, and we have ideas of who we want to be in the movie, and like being really well funded is going to be one of those things that helps us get noticed, for one, because it's like one of those things like, oh wow, this little movie is making a splash over here on Kickstarter. But then also it gets people's attention that they're like, I want to be a part of that project. And whether that is producers or actors or what have you, it's just like really amazing what the power of crowdfunding can do.
Yeah. I actually Oh, go ahead, Eric.
I think that now is the important time to talk about the purpose of the short film and how it relates to the feature film.
I agree.
Because we're making a short film version of Macabre as what they call a proof of concept. And this is to get eyes on the project and to raise awareness of it, get people excited about it. And so that can lead to people jumping on board so that we can actually make the feature film. And what we're shooting is actually the opening sequence of the screenplay. It's not some kind of like smushed up amalgamation short story version of the entire film. It's this magnificent opening sequence that Zach and I have created based on our love for the magnificent opening sequences of like Suspiria, When a Stranger Calls, of course, Scream. And these films these opening sequences that in their own right, if you plucked them out of the film, could be their own mini movie.
Scream as an like this, the Drew Barrymore sequence could have like been a short film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the beauty of the rest of Scream is that like there's a whole story to tell after that, and that's exactly what we've done with Macabre, just in terms of that. Like we didn't kind of just like, because exactly like what you're saying, like a lot of short films do that, where it's just sort of like, okay, let's just do a quick version. And we thought about that. There was one scene in particular, we're like, oh, maybe we could just make that, but that would have like almost buried the lead. It would have like spoiled the surprise, because there's a lot of fun stuff that is happening in the movie, and it's almost like I'm like dying inside, because there's so much that I want to tell about this movie, but I know that we can't. We got to keep it quiet, and like who knows how long we have to keep it quiet. But I'll just say that the opening scene is it doesn't even begin to reflect the rest of the movie that follows, but it is a damn good scene. Not to toot my own horn, but it is, because we tapped into what we believe was the essence of our favorite horror movies. Erik and I, like when Erik came to visit me in Calgary here, and we started to write the script, we really put a lot of thought into the opening scene. And I mean, like, there were, we started off, there were some like failures, and we kind of like had to read it back and laugh at ourselves for how bad it was. But when we finally like found our focus and what we needed to do, like we just watched movies. We just picked out like all the best ones, or just the ones that like really resonated with us, and studied them very closely, and just like asked the question, like, what is it about that makes it so special? And I think that a lot of the times, like that's something that Hollywood likes to recreate. Like we see a lot of movies where they're like, okay, it's like like it's like Scream, or let's make something like I'm trying to think of like a more recent like popular horror movie, but
like The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, yeah, because like just like the whole like there's just a bunch of movies that were all like possession. So it's like I want something like that, and it's very like surface level. And it looks good. Like, you know, the movies look amazing, but they're just missing that, like, that secret ingredient. And, you know, I feel like we really understand that, because we care. We've grown up with these movies. We've known them for years, and that's what we really tapped into, especially with the opening here.
Yeah, I do want to kind of say one thing is that you sort of mentioned how the opening sequence is, I think you said something along the lines of like not fully reflective of the rest of the film. I think in terms of potentially like exact content, like it's the cold open, if you will, of the actual feature. However, what we will get to showcase in terms of what the feature might contain is a film style,
Yes.
like a cinematography, a direction, a feel of, you know, I hate to use the word vibe, but like, you know, you will get a sense of our style within this universe, even if we're leaving what I would consider the best parts hidden for the time being for the feature. So this is definitely, while it might not contain all the fun surprises that the feature has, there's still plenty to be excited about in the short version. And on top of that, it will showcase our sort of stylistic filming capabilities here.
And it's an extraordinarily exciting, eccentric, different kind of opening.
It is. I remember when I first read it, dude, I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. And when it ended, I was like, because I've read, you know, beyond that. But when it ended, I was like, oh, no, this is going to be an awesome short. See, like Eric and I have had the advantage of going to a bunch of film festivals. And so we've had things to compare it to. So when I read this script, I was like, oh, I think not only is this a good short film, but I think this has a really big chance to make some waves in some of these horror film festivals. I think they're craving something of this magnitude.
Rashim is asking, what software did you guys use to write the script? Eric, you want to take that?
Oh, sure. We're using Writer Duet, which actually is starts off as free software. You can do 2 screenplays on it before you start getting charged. And fortunately, this is my second screenplay. And the cool thing about Writer, that I've been, you know, using it for, and fortunately with Writer Duet, you and your collaborator, if you're not in the same location, you can be on the script together, writing the script together, and in harmony.
It all updates in real time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of like a more writer specific version of like a Google Doc, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, and Zach and I are like talking to each other while we're writing, and we're looking at the script and making decisions. And we're both such persnickety, OCD, obsessive people that like every phrase, every syllable, every word and every line of dialogue is so carefully, meticulously chosen and thought through. And what has evolved from that is something really fabulous, actually. Like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
that was great.
If you guys have more questions, like I'm trying to keep an eye on the scroll here. So if you guys have more questions for, you know, any of us, like myself, Eric, Randy, or China, like please feel free to chime in here, because we'd love to start interacting with you before it gets too late.
Yeah, I saw that Joe says that he loves that the short film is an opening scene of the feature film. It is a great teaser. And yes, I agree with you, Joe. That's a really good perspective to have. You okay?
I just sneezed.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Guess
you.
I'm tight.
Thank you.
Tamika says hi to all of us.
Hey,
Hi,
Tamika.
Hi, Tamika.
What's up?
How are
Yeah.
you?
Good
Tamika
to have
is
you in here.
She's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Love her.
Mhm.
She's the best.
No, you really would. You would absolutely love Tamika.
So we had a question here. What is your favorite scary movie? I'm sure that's probably harder for you guys, so I'm gonna let you, maybe I can do. I don't want to take this first unless you guys want me to, in which case I'll think of something.
I think you should go first, Randy, since you.
Oh God. Well, see, here's the thing, guys. Like, I like scary movies. But
Randy doesn't like scary movies.
No, I do. I just get scared really easily.
Wait.
So like I think actually the one of the more recent ones, like when I was in my teens, I think is when like Insidious came out, and I was like, oh, that's a good. See, I like a lot more of the modern stuff, I guess you'd say. Like I tend to like Insidious, and at least the first one I liked a lot. And then I also liked the Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2. I also, oddly enough, liked what was it, The Haunting of Connecticut, because I live in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Or lived, so that one was really like when I went to the theater as a teenager, it was like, ooh, this took place in our state, you know.
Is that the one with there's like an old doctor's office in the basement that's kind of
I think so.
Walled up?
Yeah, like
okay.
it kind of like all goes up in flames or something at the end. It's been years since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been the same.
You had a very visceral reaction to Smile.
Oh, I was about to. That's what I was gonna end on. So I think yeah, she gets to clown me for this one for real. But I'd say my more recent favorite was definitely Smile.
I liked that one too. That's
which is crazy because of how much it affected me.
Oh, I couldn't sleep.
I couldn't sleep,
I woke up too.
I was like, I literally was like, China, I'm actually like kind of scared.
I was like, oh my God, I was so mad.
Yeah, she was.
But I was like, I can't you know, like
because I
can't be mean, right?
I just kept I just couldn't sleep. I kept seeing all those it was particularly, I think it was the first chick. She had like the craziest of all the smiles. Yeah, so that movie got me, man.
Speaking of Smile,
he was infected.
Yes, Smile was a short film that went on to become a feature. And also, it almost didn't even become like a theatrically released feature. You know, like Paramount, you know, really had to push for it, or someone did. But, you know, most people probably know that story. But yeah, it started off as a short, and I still need to see that short.
Wow, yeah, I'd be very curious.
I think the short is the first scene.
Oh, is it? That would make sense.
I think it might be. I think I heard that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful scene. Honestly, I think if I'm gonna I think the movie almost like that opening sequence is maybe the scariest part of the whole movie. I think potentially there's a few other moments that really got me, but that opening sequence I think is the one that like really stuck with me.
Oh, it was great, and like I remember like when I smiled, like I would like smile like really like, and he'd just be like, can you not do that?
Yeah.
And like I would just like turn around like, and he'd be like, stop it.
How do they do that? I feel like it's in the eyes. Like there's a smile, but it's like the eyes just look very sinister.
But it's like it's like the downward, and then they smile really big.
It's smiling without smiling with your eyes. So
like the opposite of smizing.
You just look like you work at Home Depot though. That wasn't that scary.
Yeah,
I mean, a little scary.
Well, you know,
Home Depot man.
If we light it differently, add some music, you know, get an Ari Alexa in here, you know,
I mean, I don't
85 millimeter lens.
I don't think so.
Bring down the lights a little low.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it would work.
China, do you have a favorite scary movie?
I do agree. The recent one that I really liked was Smile, just because it actually like scared me. Because some of the other scary movies like I've seen either are just like, I wouldn't even say scary, but they're like either way too gory, where it's like not even like scary, it's just like super gory, super gross. Like I don't really like, it was more just like nauseating watching, where I'm like okay, like I get it.
Which one was that?
What was it? I watched Saw. That's the one. I was watching Saw for the first time. I know I'm late to it, so late, but I was watching it and I was like, I can't do it. Like, it wasn't even because I was scared. I was like,
yeah, I can't do gore stuff. Like I think one time I saw, what was it? Chainsaw, the one with
it was nasty. I couldn't do it. I know that one's older,
Alexander Daddario. that one, the
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Texas. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 3D.
Do your thing, cuz.
I remember. Yeah, dude. I like. Not only was it a bad movie, but I just can't do that gore stuff. Like when he's like sawing that person in half and you watch all the guts fall out.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that, dude. I'm like, is this? I don't know.
I mean,
I thought it was fun. I think that that franchise has done worse, but I get
probably.
it.
I'm just a baby, dude. I'm a little baby.
He can't even watch He can't even play Mortal Kombat. That's how like.
Oh no.
Oh, the new ones are so crazy.
China, I know what got you. Do you remember right before we started shooting the screens and I showed everyone session 9? That movie scared the hell out of you.
You
were on the sofa. You were like, no.
Yeah, holy shit! I totally forgot about that.
That was a good.
It's a really good
movie.
one. Yeah.
I will say, concluding my thoughts, there's been a lot more questions since, which is awesome. Thank you guys for.
There's this nice one.
Oh yeah, you can read that.
It says. Bobby A says, I am recovering from knee surgery due to playing rugby, and Zach's podcast is keeping me entertained as I deal with cabin fever. This project is exciting and hope the best for the project. Will pledge.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby.
That's so sweet. Love you, Bobby.
Yeah. Also, Sarah Campbell sent a super chat, just sending support. So excited for the project. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bless.
Sarah's always so good to me.
Community of people, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, I love this. This chat is so pure. It's passing the vibe check. I love it.
Yeah. I need to live stream more often. I mean, like, hopefully with Macabre, we can do that, like, production updates and stuff like that. But that
would be great.
Yeah.
I'd be so down for that if you're not, like, sick of us already. I don't know. Me more.
No. Well, I mean, if I am now, we might have to recast.
You can be honest. I understand. I'm surprised he's still here. So like, yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
And I will, but I won't because that's not going to happen.
So how about you guys? What's your favorite scary movie? I know that's so tough because you guys.
Eric.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna kind of defer to the post that we put up yesterday, which was just like it's not even necessarily my favorite, although there's like everything among there are really high up, and probably some are my favorites. But I just put a list of 10 different movies that really inspired us, and those were some of the movies that we were talking about, just that we tried to tap into the essence of, or just that we watched in preparation for writing Macabre. So Psycho was one of them. Suspiria, Friday the 13th Part 2, mostly because of Amy Steele, but also because of Sackhead Jason. I think he's pretty cool.
Spookiest Jason.
Tenebrae, another Dario Argento there. There was Stage Fright, which incidentally is the newest episode of the podcast that just released today. I haven't even been able to keep up with that because we've been so busy with the campaign. Dario Argento's Opera. There's Candyman, the original 1992. Mute Witness. Scream 2.
Love Scream.
Because, we love Scream here, but if Macabre has if there's one Scream movie that Macabre is probably the closest to in terms of just style and substance, it's definitely would be Scream 2. And then Urban Legend was the last one that we had there, mostly for Rebecca Gayheart.
Rebecca Gayheart. All the Rebecca Gayheart, all the time, Rebecca.
Just the theatrical, just a big villain scene at the end with
her big hair.
Yeah. So those, I mean, just to kind of give an idea of movies that I really love, but also movies that I really love that are kind of have seeped into the essence of Macabre.
This is kind of a fun question. Oh, wait a minute, Eric, did you want to answer, or do you want me to?
Oh, Dylan's here.
Dylan.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yeah, our assistant director.
Dylan is he's our assistant director. Yeah. Hi, Dill.
Love you,
This
Dylan.
is a cool question. Do you prefer?
I don't get to answer the question.
Oh yeah. Go for it.
Really?
Sorry.
It's awful.
Oh my God, it's rushing right on by me.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
let's move
know.
on.
Welcome to
Clearly,
my
there's nothing
world.
more. There's nothing any important anyone's gonna say. Right? Oh,
So everything that Zach mentioned, of course, like is a really like seeped into my soul in one way or another. But I'm kind of like Carnival of Souls is one of my favorites. That's from 1961. The Innocents is also from 1961. I love House by the Cemetery. That's from 1980. That's a Lucio Fulci film. That is really wonderful. The Changeling with George C. Scott. That's also like 81, 80, something like that. That might be the best haunted house movie ever made, potentially. And then of course, the Deep Reds and Tenebres and and all of those. So I'm sort of all over the place historically with the things that I that have become a part of my heart. So
Don't forget The Grudge. You were talking about The Grudge a lot today.
Well, I know, but I didn't want to bring up The Grudge because you always make fun of me for The Grudge. I love The Grudge.
I love The Grudge.
The Grudge director's cut. That's a very different experience from the theatrical cut. So if you can get your hand on the director's cut of The Grudge, strongly recommend it. Sarah Michelle being amazing, and it's an extremely it was such a sensational hit when it came out, and it's just sort of over time become forgotten, and I think that's such a damn shame. But I did rewatch it for the manyth time the other night, and still love it so much.
I think also we just had an associate producer come on board.
Yeah, I do want to
He just
shout
got
out.
that notification.
And surprise, Tamika!
Tamika!
Oh my gosh! Thank you
Tamika!
so much. I don't know if it's updated on the thing here yet. There we go. Wow.
Oh,
Very
thank you
cool.
so much, Tamika.
Thank you, Tamika. You're an angel.
Officially one of Macabre's associate producers. That's so cool.
Tamika, you're amazing. We love you.
One of the questions.
Mom sent something and it's not coming through, apparently.
Mom's, need help with the process. I talked to mine today. She's like, "How do I do it? How do I?" I had to.
No, I think Mom figured it out, but I'm not really sure. But she was texting me asking me if it came through. Mom, we haven't seen it yet. Hopefully, we will soon.
Mm-hmm.
This one's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say when we were setting up the campaign page, we went through the frequently asked questions. Or we have to really define there's just the steps to take to make it as simple as possible for everyone. So if you don't know if the process seems a little daunting to you, head over to the FAQs on the campaign page. We really articulated in the best, most thorough way possible how it works for anyone who doesn't understand. But I just wanted to point that out because we spent 2.5 hours that one night just trying to put it all in there. But yeah, it's there. Anyway, go ahead.
You want me to go through some of these questions? Some of these will probably be pretty quick. Do you prefer this is from Jalen. Do you prefer a horror film to show you who the villain is, or the villain to remain mysterious?
Both.
Yeah, I think both.
It depends on the context of the story being told.
I was just about to say it depends on the story.
I think if I'm gonna say if I have to pinpoint something, I think one of my favorite things is when a movie legitimately has you believing that somebody is the villain, but it actually turns out it's somebody else.
Oh, I love that.
It's really hard to pull that off. It's kind of almost like what Scooby-Doo does on every episode, right? Oh, you're telling me it was the janitor the whole time? That's what they do on a kid level. But when a movie really executes that, I really like that when that happens.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you run the risk of, like, if it's a villain that doesn't really need to be over explained, like you kind of take away the mystique when you try to tell too much about them, or as we've seen in, like, like the Halloween franchise, and love most of those sequels, but it gets to a point where it's just like, this is why Michael Myers does what he does, and this explains his evil, and
This
all
is
that.
Michael Myers going to the DMV.
Oh God.
It
Well,
very well
where's
could be
that?
the next one. Yeah.
Oh, taxes! Ah!
He does like gas stations. He does enjoy gas stations, as has been proven a couple of times.
Yeah.
This one's for the writers here. What was the most difficult act to write?
I don't know. Have we gotten to it yet? I will say this, at least, that the first act, and this seems to be a consensus because I've, like, listened to a lot of other writers talk, but, like, the first act is always the easiest one to write because you're setting up your story, you're kind of getting all the players in where they need to be, setting it in motion, and
Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. That was Fabio. Fabio Rodriguez had that question.
thank you, Fabio Rodriguez.
Fabio.
But
Let's go.
we spent a lot of time, like, what we do, which, I mean, probably a lot of writers would say that's not part of their process. We write and then we go back and we rewrite. We don't do, like, a draft and then be like, okay, let's do this, because we find that, like, maybe the problem is right under our nose, and I'd rather, like, nip it in the bud. Like, I'd rather fix it then and there than to write an entire script and then, like, realize that 50% of that is gonna get thrown out.
And we'll spend 3 hours on 3 pages, but at the end of those 3 hours, the 3 pages are immaculate. I think, honestly, that the hardest act that we haven't written yet, that we've written is the one we haven't written yet, and that's the third act. Yeah. I think that's going to be where we have to really tie a lot of bring a lot of elements together to create the really sensational finale that we have planned. We know the story.
Yeah.
It's just the matter of fact of writing it.
And I just want to point out too that, like, why it's, taken that long, or just, like, why we haven't gotten to it yet, is because we can kind of, we've gotten to a point where we've, like, our momentum is really good and we're, like, going through page after page after page, and then we get to a point of, like, okay, we're losing focus here. We gotta reel it back, and we gotta make sure that everything is being written with intention. It's it has a meaning, it's going somewhere, and it's not filler. So we trimmed a lot of fat out of the script. We had to make sure that, like, is this scene necessary? Do we need this? Is it going to slow it down? Like, whenever you go see a movie and you look at your phone, or you kind of get fidgety because it's like the movie starts to lose you because it just stops being interesting, whether that be for, like, a minute or 10 minutes or 30 minutes. That is unacceptable to us. Like, our story has to be interesting constantly. We don't want there to be a single lull or boring moment. Like, we have to be watching something where, even if what's happening, the story isn't interesting, like, the characters, what they're talking about, has to be interesting. And there always has to be a new discovery, because there's nothing that I find more tedious, and same with Erik, than when you're just kind of going over the same information that you've been going over from, like, 2 scenes ago or 3 scenes ago. Like, it should constantly be evolving.
And yes, and every single thing that happens in a film should be driving the story forward. It should not be stalling the story. There shouldn't be these interim scenes of falderall where we're, like, taking a break from the movie to just hang out and not do anything that serves the film.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you and I have really mastered, is being able to call out the excess that we don't need.
Yeah. And I think that that's also what was so special about Wes Craven as a filmmaker too, because, if you watch like Scream and, like all of his Scream movies, everything served a purpose. Like, especially the earlier ones, it just like everything that happened, like it didn't feel like we were wasting time with anything. It all mattered. It all kind of went on to become something, later on in the story. It was relevant. So, and I think that really goes to show in like, his movie Red Eye, which is like 80 minutes long. And it's just like, it's so brisk. Like it just moves along at a clip. And like everything that happens in there is so important. Such a great movie. Randy, have you guys seen it? China? Red Eye?
I don't think so. No, but
I don't think so.
I will watch it now.
I think you would really like it.
Yeah, more than likely, man. Yeah. Everything that Eric's ever sent my way has been a great suggestion. So I trust you with the same sort of movie recommendations.
Oh, thank you.
What's also really important is the divvying out of exposition. Exposition should be something that are like breadcrumbs that you pick up along the way. You should be able to discover things about the situations and the characters as the film goes along. You can find something out about a character that you thought one way about an hour into the film that completely shifts your focus into a completely different perspective of that character and change your mind entirely for the better or worse. And because the biggest mistake that a writer can ever make is to serve everything on a silver platter at the beginning of the movie, and now we're just watching it all play out.
Yeah.
I'm doing a James Bond watch through, and I'm up to The Man with the Golden Gun, but I was watching Thunderball, which I promised everyone I wasn't going to talk bad about movies, but this movie is like from 1964, so I don't care. It's just like at the beginning of the movie, they explain the entire plot. Like the villains are like, this is what we're going to do. And then they essentially do just that. And we're like entirely like several steps ahead of James Bond throughout the entire thing. And it's so long. And I just like, I can't get behind this one. But
yeah, I think one thing that has been great for me, because I think sometimes the issues with films come about when there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And too many cooks in the kitchen is often defined in the modern sense. You'll hear directors even like George Lucas talk about this, and all these various Steven Spielberg, a lot of these like big guys are even talking about, and they have been since the 90s, is that there's too many business people decisions that are being made in creative spaces. And so I think one of the biggest advantages that we have is, in this scenario, the only suit that's really in the room is me, and I want to give the writers full creative capabilities to make an awesome movie. And what does that mean? That means stepping away on a lot of cases and giving the real creative control to these guys, because I know I can trust them with it, and I can trust them to take risks. Like, taking risks in art is where real art, or maybe not real art, but beautiful art is made, because it's hard out there. I think we have too much refining going on, and but we have to have this ad by this person, and if we say this, then that. No, there's none of that. Right now, it's creativity and art and movie making for the purpose of making something truly entertaining. And like I said, taking risks and taking swings and being thoughtful about it, for sure. But I think in our particular position, we're allowed to make something truly special and awesome. So it's been fun. I got to see a draft a while ago, so I'm sure it's changed, but even back then, I was very, very excited. And you are right. One thing leads to another, which leads to another. It's never this happens, then this happens, then this happens. It's this happens, but then this happens. But because that happened, therefore this happened. It's a bunch of awesome falling dominoes, of just stuff. And it's great. I'm saying stuff.
Yeah, there should always be a cause and effect of everything that happens should then lead into what happens next, rather than just being da 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 da, and like meanwhile on the other
Yeah.
side of town.
Yes. Yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side of town.
I just sorry, real quick. So I just wanted to shout out Vaughn. Thank you for pledging to us. Just bumped us up a little bit there.
Thank you,
And
Vaughn.
and then also
Thanks.
there's another super chat from Sarah Campbell, based on the Sarah.
That's our second super chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Second. Sarah, let's go.
Yeah, based on the amount of research and work you put into one of your Who Killed Who videos, I can only imagine the care you and Erik are putting into this. I know it's going to be worth the wait.
So actually,
Thank you.
could I want to comment on that. One of the things that I would bring up in meetings to Zach was, hey, you've been spending all these years talking about other people's work, and which is great because it gives you this unique perspective where now it's your turn to drive the boat. And driving the boat is a lot different than, being in the back or taking a look at the boat. And I'm taking this analogy too far. But the point is that, like you're now in a position where it's like, okay, I remember things that bothered me about this movie or things that I liked about this movie. What are ways that I can avoid the things that I myself as a content creator would pick up on? Like things like that, I think is a really good position for you to be in because it gives you that perspective that will be very, very helpful and has been from what I've been reading.
Yeah. No, I think that, because here's the thing, like when it comes to like the technical aspect of the movies, this is something that I'm going to be learning. I'm going to be kind of the student once we get into production, which I'm very excited for. I can't wait to kind of be shown the ropes and kind of figure things out and find that way to translate like what Erik and my vision is, into a way like, how we're going to work with Isaiah Providence, our director of photography, to kind of make that happen. So I'm very eager for all of that, but definitely like the screenwriting part, like writing the script with Erik has really, having that experience of just sort of like, I don't really consider the Who Killed Who in Scream videos like a critique, as much as like I try to make it work. Like there's a lot of things that sometimes don't, and I'm just like, okay, let me like reach for something just to make sense of this, because that's the purpose. I want it to make sense. So, what we're doing, it's kind of like, how do we make it so it's just so we don't have someone who's going to be sitting in the theater watching our movie and being like, well, that took me out of it because now I'm thinking about that. Like, we want to avoid that. And we've, had a lot of conversations as we go through and just being like, well, that wouldn't happen and that wouldn't happen. And I think that, with Erik, the best stuff that we've written has come from us disagreeing. And
So true.
If we were on the same page the entire way through, I would question to myself, do I even need to be working with Erik right now? And that's not the case, because Erik brings out the best in me as a writer, and I like to think vice versa. He's kind of told me, but I like to think so as well.
You often bring out the best of me as a person, much less as an artist.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Actually, we have this. This is a fun comment.
Okay.
Ashley Summers. I also can imagine every character will follow in Erik's footsteps and have amazing hair.
There you go. There's gonna be product placement for what brands do you use?
Oh, Oars is really good. I do like Oars. There's a lot going on in here, but
I can relate to that, Erik.
yeah, I know, China. I know that you can. No, everyone will have fabulous hair because it's a movie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It took me a very long time to figure out what the hell to do with my hair, and so I do. Yeah. So I really do appreciate the the compliment very much.
Oh.
Thank you.
That was very sweet. I love that.
That was awesome.
That was so cute. These comments are adorable. Everyone is
comments are
everyone
great.
is
Yeah.
so cute.
Everyone's
Love
so
it.
supportive too, you know.
I know, like, and I
That's-
mean that. Like, it's so cute. I love it.
And that's the thing, like, yeah, not everyone can support financially, and we understand that. But you know, there's other things you can do. Just share it in your stories, like share it on your social media, tell your friends. Like little things like that go a long way, and a lot of people have been
Very
doing
true.
that, and it's really amazing. And you know,
Oh, you're right, Garrison. It is all about the hair. Period. That is right.
We have a
Aw,
question from-
Garrison is such a sweetheart.
You're right. It's all
Hey,
about
Garrison.
the hair.
We have a question from LSN Edits, or LSN_edits. Zach, if you were going to be in any movie, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, we just recorded the Texas Chainsaw Massacre podcast last night, and it definitely wouldn't be that because I said that I would be killed in that movie right away. So you know what?
Your smart mouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Scream. I'm gonna say I think that I could do a pretty good, whether I'm like the reporter, you know, getting to the bottom of the story, or the killer. You never know. Like I think that's where
Or
I'll-
just rewriting history and having you play Randy.
I've heard that. When I went to the
I know.
the Calgary Expo, there was one of the volunteers who was working there all weekend. Bless her heart. She is just like, the whole time she just called me Jamie, because she's just like, you look just like Jamie Kennedy, and he's just like, he's right over there, and he's just like, I'm okay. But the whole time she just called me Jamie. So then I started to call her Jamie. I don't know what her name was, but she was really nice, but like kind of weird, but like in a good way.
You're nice.
Do you want me to?
I don't care. What?
Do you want me to? You comfortable answering this one?
Sure.
I think so. This is a pretty fun one. From Rashim, I have a question for China. How did you go about approaching this character? It's definitely how she's going to be approaching the character
how
too,
I'm
because
going
it's
to
still
approach.
work in progress, of course.
Oh, wow. So I guess a little backstory on myself, because I haven't really said a word this entire time, which is fine. Like, I've literally just been enjoying it. I'm so happy to be here, but this will be my first ever movie, like, in terms of acting.
Well, we've done a few short films.
Yeah, but they don't really count. I was, like, in the background, like, one-liner.
Yeah,
I don't
she
really
had
count
She had a few lines in some short films.
But
Really?
you stood
Don't
out.
let her
You,
fool
you stood out.
Thank
I
you,
mean-
Zach.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm
She's
The
downplaying it.
the physical acting, like the
the
non-verbal acting, like really kind of jumped off. Like
Yeah.
it was more captivating than like anyone else that was in it.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
I guess like my first time, like, I guess actually acting, not just a one-liner or
being
like,
lead.
yeah, that's like crazy. So I'm definitely trying to take all the advice I can get. Definitely doing my homework as I'm given to the best I can. It's definitely going to be a learning experience for me, because I model, so I'm used to standing still in front of a camera. And it's easier with a picture, because if you don't like the picture, you just redo it. And I mean, same thing goes with like acting, but like with a picture, it's just a standstill, like in time. There's like, that's it. There's no like acting. It's like, I have to portray a character. I have to really sell it. And it's like, oh, you know, like for me, that's a lot, but I'm excited. I think I'll be able to handle it. I'm in very good hands. We have a really good squad. So, I'm definitely, so again, it's a learning experience, but I'm very excited. I'm just so excited to get to it, because like I've already worked with everyone. I mean, this will be my first time, of course, being with Zach, but it already feels super natural. Like, it just feels like we've already been like doing this kind of like forever. So I feel like it'll just be great. And yeah, it'll just be a fun time. Like, I originally had anxiety about it in the beginning, but which Eric can attest to that. He knows. But but it's definitely lessened because I'm like, okay, like I don't know why I'm getting myself so worked up. Like, let me do this at one at a time. Like, I'm in good hands. I'm with good people that won't let me crash and burn, So I'm very excited. I definitely have to do way more digging and finding myself within this character, but once I have that moment and once I feel comfortable, I can't wait. I can't wait to like put her out there for everyone to see because I'm excited. I'm already a little drawn to her. I'm already like, so I'm just like, I can't wait to just get her out there. I can't wait for everyone to see her. So,
yeah. And I think your time with spending some of the time with Siobhan like this and whatnot, I think all of that sort of like reality-based character work is going to be really important to sort of translate that relationship on the screen, which will be nice. And yeah, she very modestly put, but she is very natural. Yeah, I think one of the things that people make the mistake of when they act is they tend to think that they have to do more and do something, but a lot of acting is really just not acting. Actually, a lot of it's just being believable and being a real person. And if you can shut off the idea that there's a camera here and that you're really in that situation, really talking to that person, really feeling all these things, and you're not having to lie. Like, I think what a big mistake that people assume about acting is they think, oh, well, actors must be good at lying because they're lying. It's like, well, no, if you're a good actor, it's you're believing everything that's happening in the moment. There is no lie. It exists exactly how it is right then and there. And so China's actually really good at that. I know she's very modest in her delivery of how she said that, but been on a few sets with her. Even recently, actually, I had her on a feature film. I know you were just an extra, and again, she didn't have any lines, but
I had to make a stank face, and I think I did.
Oh, she did so good though. Like, that's the thing. I spent. So China did what took a hired actress from that has an actual, like, a separate part with lines. Like, it took her, I just did this, I filmed last Sunday. It took that actress 20 takes to get the one look that I wanted. And China did hers in 2 because she was so good at it. And so there's just like, I'll talk you up. It's okay. That's my job. But I think it's going to be great, and I think y'all are going to have a lot of fun. So.
Oh, absolutely. And she and Siobhan get to say some wonderfully weird, eccentric dialogue that Zach and I had the best time concocting.
Yeah. Because as much as this is like a love letter to like these slasher movies, like Scream, it's also harkens back to these Italian horror movies from the 80s where things it's almost like when you're watching the English version of it, because there is it's filmed in Italian. And when you speak Italian, there's so much more dialogue that goes into a line. So then when they do the English over top of it, they have to sort of add words in English to kind of make it all fit into there. And it just sort of like becomes this very weird, like almost surrealist conversation that characters are having. And I think that's what really lends to like what makes those movies so interesting. So we tried to come up with dialogue that was still kind of like grounded in the real world, but was fun and weird, that you'd like look at it and be like, what? So, I'm very excited that
what but fabulous.
Yeah, what but fabulous. And I'm very excited because it's been so long now since we wrote that scene and refined it so much that I'm kind of very far away from those characters now, so it'll be very interesting to see what both China and Siobhan do with them and how we get reacquainted that way. Siobhan,
when Erik said that he wanted Siobhan to play opposite China, it was brilliant. Like, Erik's really good at casting, And I don't say that because I'm in all his movies. But no, he's really good at casting. When he put Siobhan opposite China, I was like, oh, that's perfect. I mean, Siobhan is a firecracker. She's got
She's
someone's.
amazing.
It's like it's
She's
one thing to be a
amazing.
good actor, but also having a certain voice and cadence to how you present everything. It ends up being like a whole package thing. And Siobhan's got this like, oh, you guys are gonna love it. She's fantastic.
She's amazing.
Jacob Watson says, Zach, I associate your voice with spooky season, and it triggers like an ASMR reaction when I watch one of your videos during the fall. Thank you so much for what you've added to the horror community.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
thank you,
That's
Jacob
amazing.
Watson. Yeah. When I hear like the voice thing in ASMR, like I just think of like the Chucky voice, which kind of
Dylan?
like it slips in and out. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's come here yet tonight, but
I get the privilege of having the Chucky all the time, and it's the best.
Dylan Goodwin and associate producer Dylan Goodwin says something that's really, really true about acting: telling the truth in fictional circumstances. That's a very good way to say what I was saying in way more words. That's like the log line of what I said.
That's Dylan's T. Schreiber showing through.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There was a question for you, Randall.
Oh, there was.
Question for Randy from Rashim. Hi,
Oh,
Rashim. Love you.
yes.
What draws you into a script?
Oh, okay. Well, I think one of the first things that draws me into a script, and I kind of mentioned it before, but I don't like when everything is explained like I'm stupid. I don't like that. I want you to treat me like I'm intelligent, like I have to figure something out. Not to like a too crazy of a level, but let me do some thinking. Let me, like there's this whole idea these days from studios, like big studios, and you hear it on sets too. Big professional sets. They talk about second screen consideration. Okay, that bothers me to no end. Second screen consideration. If you haven't heard of what that is, hey, we have to restate the plot again because maybe someone was looking at their phone while they were watching our show. Now, that kind of stuff, I don't like second screen consideration. My thought is that if you missed it, you missed it. And that's your fault, buddy. Okay? You should be watching. You shouldn't be on your phone while you're watching a movie, all right? So I really don't like when things are overstated or overexplained. And then the other thing that I do really like to see is and this is harder to pinpoint exactly, but something that is in the dialogue that makes the characters feel alive and real, and they're not using like too modernistic colloquial
Oh, big word.
colloquial
Big word.
like I don't want to be seeing characters saying like defo and like riz
sorry.
and like, you know what I mean? Like there's like certain, like that only makes sense if there's like a certain character that's like that. But I just sort of like fad stuff has its place, but I want to have characters that are interesting and fun and interact like normal human beings.
Characters who are also big and buff and
Big
strong.
and buff and they're
Okay, please.
oh, okay, sorry. She
I
almost
think,
said
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I think like
got him
also
triggered.
like everything you're mentioning, like just adding dialogue like that, like it kind of traps a movie in the time that it's made.
Yes.
And even if something is like very like inherently like 80s or 90s, there can still be a timeless quality to it where it just, like you could look at a movie and be like, oh, I could remake that story nowadays. And I think like, one of the things that is good about some remakes is taking a concept that, is a really good concept, but might have just not had a very good execution and remaking it with a better execution. And it just feels like that's not usually the case. So yeah, I do appreciate that.
like I've read a lot of scripts before, man, like a lot, and I read a lot of scripts because I also act. So like, I'll get like auditions and stuff. I'll get like auditions and stuff for things, and I'll try. Me and Harvey read with each other a lot, and we get auditions for TV shows, and when you get those auditions coming in, and you can just tell they're written for a certain. I don't know who they're writing these shows for sometimes, and I'm not going to talk crap about anything specific. Don't worry, Zach. But it's more so just like some of the modern appeal that they're aiming for. I think is I don't know who's making the decision. I think there's people that think, oh, people want to see this, but they don't. They don't really want to see this. I think audiences. We make sometimes a mistake by saying, like, I think one of the silliest comments I'll see is, who asked for this? Right? Which I think is a silly comment from a viewer, because oftentimes we don't know what we actually want until we see it. The world didn't know that we wanted to all watch E.T. until they made E.T. We didn't know that the whole world wanted to, watch Indiana Jones before they made Indiana Jones. It's like, yeah, it's like there's a lot of these like really classic movies, and if we're staying in horror, like, no one said, "Hey, we need to make a movie with a guy and a knife and a white mask, and it's going to be interesting to know who the killer." Like, there was none of that. Like, there wasn't an audience member that specifically asked for these classic movies. So I think it's important to be surprised with what people are creating, and so a good script to me has a lot of those qualities, and one that does not hold back. There was a time period where we weren't pulling punches, and I think we're about to start getting back to that, where movies are going to start taking bigger risks with their dialogue and their situations, and especially in comedy, and that's the wonderful thing about the way that you guys write too, is that it's not just a horror movie. You've incorporated little tidbits of of humor that I think help carry the story through.
Oh, thank you. Because I don't even think of it as writing humor. It's just sort of like, it just, might come off that way.
That's the thing. That's the thing, is that if you sometimes it's harder if you're writing a comedy, sure, than you're intentionally writing jokes, right? Mm-hmm. But like with movies that are horror, or like when Erik wrote Tuesday, which is a drama, if it's just drama, then the drama isn't really dramatic, but you have to have those moments where you inhale and exhale, and if there's no inhale ever, you can't there's only so much air you have before there's nothing left, and so that allowing the breaths into the script is what makes it fun and keeps those highs really high and keeps the lows really low, and you guys write it beautifully, and then maybe you do it unintentionally, but there's moments where I'm like, that was funny. That was a funny line.
We're such sarcastic people.
Yes.
And it just, like, there's a moment right now that I'm thinking of that I can't talk about, but it's somebody's reaction to a killer's prop, and it's just like very dismissive of like, this is stupid, like, and
yeah, and you combine good writing with a talented actor and a good director, shot well, lit well, with some music or no music, which is music. No music is just as much music as music is, which is kind of funny to think about. But that's when you get a really good scene. Something catches you off guard.
I just want to shout out a new backer. So thank you to Lona, who's pledged to us. Really appreciate that.
That's Mom.
Mom!
That's Marty, but she goes, like, her first name, she's Lona Maurice, and she goes by Marty. Hi, Mom. Thank you.
Oh, Mom.
Mom showed up.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, this chat is like popping off.
Yeah, this chat's going crazy right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to address two things. Well, first of all, Craven Something Scary said, "Hey, Zach, I'm excited about this project." I'm excited that you're excited. I'm happy that you're here with us, and I'm gonna be going on his live stream pretty soon. And then also there's from Bobby for Zach and Eric, knowing the inspirations of the film, will there be any effort to make the atmosphere of the film reminiscent of what inspired it, or will it have its own aesthetic / color palette? I think you can answer that one, Eric.
I can speak to color too in a second as well, but I'll let Eric drive the ship.
Beep, 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 beep.
I think that there's a lot of terror to be found in bright lighting. And I think that one of the scariest things in the world is to not have, like, there'll be shadows in the film and things like that, but to be out in the open and for the room to be brightly lit, and you're trying to get away from the person that you're getting away from, and the limitations of not having all this shrouded darkness, because it's not going to be a movie that's filled with creepy shadows and et cetera and so forth. It's going to be, a lot of it's going to be very brightly lit. And I think that's one of the scariest things in the world, is trying to escape someone who can easily see you.
There's nowhere for you to really hide.
Yeah.
And I like that.
We also had a lot of discussions about this, because we were even writing scenes where just like, we need to change the setting, because this is very, like, this is contradictory to what came before it. And I think that, we talked about, like, are we going to go for like the the very, the setting of like where the movie takes place primarily, and I'm talking about the feature, in terms of being like, like very, kind of gothic, like if you think of like old buildings and stuff, and just like, creating an atmosphere, and we were like, well, maybe we should go in the other direction, and that's, we agreed. I mean, and this is, again, it's something that's very personal to us, of just one of our favorite movies, just in terms of Tenebrae, and how that's a movie that's very bright, and it has a very unique aesthetic to it. Like, it just, like, you watch that and you're like, I am in the world of Tenebrae, and everything is very modern and cold and rigid, but it really allows like the colors on the characters to pop out, and it kind of makes them more interesting because of that.
Yeah. Especially Daria's Easter dress.
I think in terms of color, this is kind of a funny comment, but something happened in the, like, and I like a lot of 2000s films, but there was this random obsession where we started choosing like a singular color for an entire movie and just running with it. The easiest example that I can think of off the top of my head right now is Twilight.
I literally
Twilight. The first Twilight is so green. There's too much green.
Yeah, it's like
the
a
whole
filter.
Thing, the whole thing's like an Instagram green filter. The whole thing.
And then like the second one's like orangey.
Yeah, like, and I get what they're doing, but like, I personally like when stylistic color choices are more subtle, and I like I'm wearing a white shirt, China's wearing a white shirt. It should look white. Like it should, like, things should look like the color they are, with like an enhanced film grain or film grading and stuff like that. But I like when things are an enhancement of the natural perception of the world, if that makes sense.
Good job.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, thanks, babe.
Good job, Benji.
You guys are so supportive of each other.
He's like, good job, Randy. Like, hey.
Yeah, he did. You remember that big word he said earlier? That was a lot.
Colloquial.
There you go. Good job.
Colloquial.
That's a very, very proud of you.
Loquacious.
Anemone.
Anemone.
See, not anemone. Oh God.
Anemone. It's so funny. Even Joe was like, I was gonna say Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight. The Twilight filter. They like sell those on Etsy.
Yeah.
Like if you like, you could walk around like Twilight filter, and I'm like.
I remember the movie Traffic. Remember from like it was probably like released 2000. The one about like the drug cartel and all that, and there was like Catherine Zeta-Jones was in it, and there was 3 different storylines, and they took place in like different areas. So like the filter for one would be like really orange, and then one would be like really blue, and then there might have been one that was like green. And like at the time, that was really praised. They're just like, wow, this is filmmaking. And then it seemed like that was something that was really took off. And it's like, I mean, I get there that it's used to like kind of like contrast the different storylines, but things became like a little too uniform in like the intensity of the one color that they would use.
I know this is like, and I can't believe I didn't say this earlier on the question on what your favorite horror movie is, and the fact that I didn't say Train to Busan is insane.
I was waiting for that.
I can't believe I didn't say that. That's the only movie within probably the past 5 years that I actually bought physical media for.
Yeah, I was the one that introduced him to that.
She did.
So you give me my credit.
That is a movie where, and yes, China did introduce me to that.
Here.
And I cry every time I watch it. But I'm a big baby, so
oh
okay.
Yeah, biggest of them all.
But good movies will get me, man. I don't like cry in life as much.
Yes,
but...
he does. Yes, he does.
All right.
Yes,
well,
hey,
it's okay. So anyhow,
I still need to watch Train to Busan.
Oh,
it's
dude,
so
it's
good.
yeah.
It's so good.
That's a movie where you know from the opening shot that it's going to be good. I know that that's a weird thing to say, but the very first frame of the movie, you're like, oh, these guys know what they're doing. Like, there's just something about it. You just know. Yeah.
I just love zombie movies, so I was really excited to show him that, because that's, like, probably my favorite zombie movie of all time.
Yeah.
Because
he came to New York with that. He bought it.
I remember seeing it. I was like, no way.
He came to New York so that we were going to hang out anyway, but he came to New York and brought Train to Busan. And he knows how incredibly critical I am, and he took the risk and shared it with me, and damn it, that's not a good film.
Yeah, it's good.
Damn, it's good.
It's so good. I remember watching it on Netflix for the first time because I was trying to find something. This was ages ago. And I was trying to find something to watch, and I was like, Korean horror? Okay. And I saw zombies, and I was like, I like zombies. And then I played it, and here we are, obsessed.
We have first name, last name. Can you each say what you think the scariest movie is you have ever seen? Like, like the scariest? So not like our favorite, but the scariest one.
Can I, before we answer that, can I just shout out 2 more pledges? So, two new backers. Dayman, Fighter of the Night Man. That is all one word, by the way. Dayman, Fighter of the Night Man.
Yeah, a little Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference there.
Is Always Sunny references are always welcome.
Dayman, Fighter of the Night Man.
There's a musical.
Champion of the Sun. Come on, I know the whole thing.
I guess I didn't get as far into the series.
Randy, have you seen the live when they did it on stage live? Have you seen that? Oh, it's on YouTube. They did it on stage live in front of an audience.
Oh my god!
They did the show.
The whole show, from the show. Oh my god!
But they did the whole thing.
That's amazing.
I think Zach has something to say.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
no. And then also thank you to Josh. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
Josh?
Who's also pledged to us. Sorry, like ... We're over $9,000 now. We're almost 25% funded on day one.
Oh my god!
You guys,
are amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like fucking insane. That's so awesome.
Wow. That's amazing.
You want to know what it is? It's our charm.
Yeah. It's the charm.
It's also it's because of how beautiful we all are.
Yeah.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
It's the hair.
It's the magic of the hair. No, it's just like I think that we have a lot of truth and passion, and we believe in what we're doing, and I think that it comes across that we know that what we're doing, and I think that we have an incredible group of people who are paying attention and who want to see what we can accomplish together. We have an incredible support team that Zach brings with him. Zach's audience adores him and loves him and have for a long time.
Yeah.
and rightfully so.
Love it.
And we are definitely reaping the benefits of that. And what I can guarantee you is that once we get this film funded, the movie that we're going to make, you guys are going to be so damn proud of him.
Yeah.
So damn proud of him.
All of
Like,
us, all of us, including everyone who is supporting right now. Like I think that we should all be proud of each other.
Yeah,
because this is really
because-
cool.
really awesome. It really
And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a journey. This is the beginning of getting a short film made so that we can get attention for it and get it into festivals, get it out there, meet people, get people interested in it, attached to it, so that we can make the full length feature with the wonderful
People that
that
we want. Yeah, there's a few that we're
Oh,
Name-
Eric
naming
pulled
was
the
the-
emergency brake on that real
Yeah.
quick. He's like,
Yeah.
Um,
Keeping that calm. But
Hey. Sorry, Randy, we derailed the question you were asking.
Oh, what was the?
It was something about like the best worst or
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, sorry. That was first name, last name. Must be just a. Can you each say what you think the scariest movie is you've ever seen? I'm going to stay with Smile for me because it's
Yep.
been a long time. I don't know
Yep.
that I've ever had legitimate trouble sleeping
Yep.
like that before. I think that caught me at a good. We saw it at nighttime, first of all.
Yeah, we saw it at nighttime near Halloween, so it was extra spooky.
Yeah.
And it was just great. I loved it. I mean, I got scared, but like, I don't know.
I think that one just hit me for whatever
It
reason.
was
How about
the
you though? Was that
the scariest. I
Yeah.
think it was what Eric said earlier, the one that he showed us, like where I genuinely was like,
Oh,
shit.
Session 9?
Where I was like, oh shit. I was like, Eric,
That's
I don't know, man.
I'm-
Like this got scary.
I'm
Like,
gonna agree
I
with
don't know. I don't
China.
get scared.
because that's what I was
don't get
thinking
scared
too.
that easily.
I think
And I
that's
was
such.
like,
I think Session 9 is the scariest movie I've ever
just even
seen.
the title it sounds scary. Like,
And you know what it
Session
is to me?
9.
It's
like,
it's the voices. It's the voices on the recordings. Like
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh, there's something about, and it's so brilliant to like. That's like a really good example of they more than likely recorded the audio on a really great microphone, but then intentionally crunching it and making it all
Yeah.
messed up and making it sound like you could hear the tape scratching and the.
Yeah.
felt like Scooby Doo
Oh.
watching it, just like
Yeah. And
like,
the
my teeth
score,
chattering.
it has a really
Yes.
good score. And
Oh,
here's the
yeah,
thing, it's
Amazing.
not
See, spooky, scary.
it's not for everyone. Like I know like a lot of people would probably watch and be like, well, this is boring, and that's fine. We all have our own personal taste, but I agree because I was thinking, and I'm just like, the last movie I watched that like resonated with me and like really made me, feel like unsettled by it would have to be that. Apparently, fun fact, I believe it was Sinister. Sorry, I shouldn't say that so so disdainfully. Apparently, Sinister is considered the scariest movie, and it's just like I think maybe it's the most like startlesome. I don't know if that's a word. Movie.
That's so-
The home movies in
Yeah.
Sinister are terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
The home movies are terrifying.
Yes.
Rest of it, but the home movies are so scary.
Yeah. It's
Um,
really
Those-
it was
you're
really
right, Eric.
effectively done. Like and especially
Yeah,
like that
that's-
opening shot with them in the tree. So
Yeah, I forgot about Sinister. Sinister is really good. I mean, I liked it at the time, especially when I remember seeing it in theaters and then driving home, and I think somebody took a picture of me in my car, and in the back it looked like, what was his name, like Bagul or Magul or
Bagul.
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 Bagel.
That was right. Yes, I remember my buddy was like, "Holy shit, dude, Bagul's in the picture." We were all like, "Ah!" And like, it was just sorry, Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
He's so loud.
Sorry, that's my
ear.
Italian that's coming out.
Ah,
Hey,
Well,
I got
totally-
Bagul.
Hey!
Hey,
Randy
Bagule, you
Randy
know.
Barruso.
Oh, that was the best.
Yeah.
Barruso.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
in Italy, Randy Barruso is Randy Barruso in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
we are.
it's so nice having your Italian last name pronounced properly.
Yeah.
I also benefited from that. I was like, oh my God, bless. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will
yeah.
say that when I was 7 years old, Mom and Dad were watching Poltergeist, and
Ooh.
I was
Oh my
fine.
God. I remember
Fascinating. Love that movie. I think it's a really damn good film.
Yeah.
7 years old, and I've already got a thick skin. I'm into horror. I'm watching my horror. I'm doing all that. But when Marty is in the kitchen eating that steak and preparing that steak, and it turns into maggots coming out of it, and then or whatever
Yummy.
it's doing, and he runs into the washroom, and he's looking at the mirror, and he starts ripping his face off. I screamed and ran into my bedroom and shut the door. Like, how can you show this to me? Like, and now it's on the shelf.
Now it's on the shelf.
Believe it or not, we've been going on for 2 hours here. Doesn't feel like it.
What? Oh wow,
Yeah,
it's
10
10.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably start to wind it down because I mean, you guys are all on the east. It's still 8 o'clock over here. So we
You're
gotta,
in Canada.
yeah, we gotta be respectful of everyone's time. But I mean, yeah, if you guys are ready to start winding it down, let's try to get some last couple of questions in. Also,
There's a really sweet one.
Yeah, there's a really sweet one from Ashley Summers. Is that the one you're talking about? Do you want me to read it?
I want to read it.
Read it.
I love that you guys are reading the questions because you're so much better at it than I am.
Yeah.
No, this
Yeah,
one's like
it's-
super cute. Yeah, it's from Ashley. It says, I found Zach when I was in a dark place and I watched his content to cheer myself up. I'm so happy for him and to support him. Through him, I've met some amazing people and made true friends.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
And
Ashley.
Amethyst Frost agreed. She goes, same Ashley, I was going through some rough anxiety earlier this year and the CP got me through and I told Zach and Eddie as much. Heart emoji.
Thank you, Amethyst. Amethyst also has a running. How would I describe this? It's like a spreadsheet. That's what it is, of all the tallies of the cherry picker. So for anyone who's on the live stream and doesn't follow the podcast, and Randy and China. So my podcast is essentially every week we talk about a new horror movie. And then my co-host Edward and I at the end, it's sort of like a back and forth game that we have, depending on like who won that round, where we decide who deserves to die the most in said horror movie that we talked about. And then we hand it over to the listeners / viewers and they get to vote. And then whoever wins gets to pick the first character in the next episode that we do.
Oh,
When
cool.
are you doing
That's
Exorcist?
awesome.
You're doing Exorcist 2 when?
So then we recorded Texas Chainsaw Massacre original the other night. So that's going to be next week. And then after that is Exorcist 2.
Oh God, I want to be on that one so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
I also just want to, because we are wrapping up. I want to show the swag again.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it.
yeah, the swag. So we got the poster. This is the official, the blue variant, we'll call it. So this was illustrated by Matthew Terrian. He did a phenomenal job. We had lots of conversations about it. He sent us different, I guess, ideas, and we ended up settling on sort of an amalgamation of all three of them. And then we kind of, another one that some people have actually pointed out on YouTube. They're just like, that looks like the poster for Enigma. And you're right, because we saw that and we're like, give it a little Enigma vibe. So if it looks familiar, there's that. There's a little bit of opera, like that dagger is from opera. And the fun thing is, yeah, this is a slasher, and you can see there's like these claws. Let's just say that the poster's not like indicative of anything that's like actually in the movie. Like we more so wanted to like make a poster that is evocative of like the times, because you would have posters that look like that that were more about the feeling and the tone rather than what was in it. Like, you know how it is today, where it's like, this is the cast, and that's not China.
That dagger will be
or
in the movie.
Siobhan.
Yeah, that's not me. Sorry, guys.
But that dagger will be in the movie.
The dagger will be in the movie, and then the red variants. So if you'd like to get this as an add-on, is also available. This is a limited quantity.
Yeah, thanks for
show that right
That's
there. So
fun.
if you prefer red, I mean, you can have both, but it's because it's not an either or, it's an and situation.
I do like that the poster is like the POV of the killer, and then you see the reflect. You know what I mean? Like the making you the killer in your perspective of the poster. You know, it's like a really cool. It's just really awesome.
Yeah.
Because the Enigma
The claw.
the Enigma one was different. It was like they were kind of like coming out like this. If you can see my hand, and Matthew just kind of did his own thing, and then he showed it to us, and we're just like, oh wow, that is cool, and it does, you know, kind of have that what you just described.
Yeah, it's like it puts the viewer in the perspective of the killer.
Oh, Eric's holding up the Enigma.
Oh yeah, Enigma. It looks
Yeah,
but it is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, that poster has the killer coming at you for number one. Number two,
it's like some kind of creature thing.
Yeah, definitely much different, but you can see where the inspiration comes from, which is great. You know, that's the idea of filmmaking, is to take the things you like from the things you like.
And then we also, from Matthew, we've got these storyboard. So just different, you know, bits that are, that's upside down. Just to kind of give you an idea of, you know, the art gallery, and this as well.
There's Harvey in there, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's Harvey. And then
a really pretty drawing of me, version of me.
And then of course the script, which, I mean, like Randy mentioned before, it's like, you know, to kind of get your hands on this and get the you know, and just an idea if you're interested in filmmaking and sort of the process, but also seeing the script beforehand and then what it turns out to be, because a lot of the times, like, these scripts for movies that we love don't ever really make it online. Like, what we see is not necessarily the original version of that, so it's a fun little thing to compare the movie to. And then of course the shirt,
which I need.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to get some of those. Those are pretty sweet.
I know. I want to make it like a croppy top, so I could be like.
And you have the option to have things signed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And also a new backer, Simran. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Simran.
Yeah, thank you. Love you.
Thank you so much.
This is amazing.
This is so awesome.
We're up to
everyone is supportive.
56 backers. That's
amazing.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm glad that everyone came out to do this. Are there any more questions that you saw, Randy?
Let's see. So there are some. What a fun night.
Oh, we have a new backer.
Oh, we do.
I love this comment from Emma.
Oh, it already happened. Sorry.
China's got such good energy. She will be a scream queen for the gays to stan. I love that comment.
Yes.
Thank you. That's like the best compliment I think I've ever received in my life. I love that. Ah,
I think we
Amazing.
covered.
ah! I love it. That was great. That was great. I love this. I love Amifest. You're amazing. Ah! I mean, I love
Yeah.
everybody in the like everybody is so nice. I
Mhm.
love it. I feel so like welcomed. I love it. I'm like, you guys like me, like
You guys
Because you
like
belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amethyst Frost was our very first pledge.
Oh, bless
Wow.
her.
Mhm.
You're amazing. God bless. I mean, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I would never just starts like
Yeah.
crying.
Okay. Yeah. I think that about sums it up for the questions.
All right.
I think that, like, if all the wonderful people here could continue to spread the word, spread the
Yes.
Kickstarter, continue to get the word out, and share, so that we can keep growing and reaching our goal. It would be incredible to reach our goal sooner than later, so that Zach and I can actually start to like fully focus on creating the film, because we miss it so much.
And I just want to say, yeah, that's the thing, because like we've like so much time has been put on hold to prepare this Kickstarter, and I mean it's been worth it, obviously. But I mean, like even tonight in the last 2 hours, we came into this. I think we were at 40, maybe just under, like 38, 39 backers. We're at 56 now. We were at 6,000 then. We're now at 93,74. Our goal is 40,000. So I mean, we're so close to 10,000. That's 25%.
Already.
I mean, I didn't know how this was gonna go. Like we've been nervous wrecks like all week, just kind of like worrying, like, what's gonna happen? And I mean, you guys have made this all worth it. I mean, I speaking for myself, I've put so much of my time aside from like making videos on YouTube to make this movie, because I mean, this to me is like the next evolution of that. Like this, like, people really love the Who Killed Who videos, and in my mind, this is just like the ultimate, next YouTube video, but just like on a much larger scale. So I'm really fortunate to have so many people in my corner, and just so appreciative of all of you for allowing that to happen, because this was such a risk for me to take, and you're really, I'm touched that it's happening, and we're gonna hit it. And I mean, I hope that we go beyond that limit, because I want this movie to be the best version of itself that it can be, in like short film version and feature length. And you guys really believe in it, and believe in me and Erik and Randy and China, now that you've met them. And I'm just so happy for everyone in this virtual room right now.
We love you, Zach.
Yeah, we love you,
Oh,
Zach. That
love
was
you.
very well said.
Thank you.
I can't, even though we haven't like met like in person, I'm just like, Zach is bestie. He's bestie. Like we're
Thank you.
we're
Zach,
locked in.
Zach
Getting
in
after it.
person is a joy to behold.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait for all of us
Thank
to be
you.
like together,
Yeah, that'll be great.
just to be
Mhm.
together and like.
Oh yeah,
Just
you can
on
watch
set.
Zach and me being persnickety together in person.
Oh,
Randy
yeah.
already got like a little bit of that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it did. That was fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, thank you so much to everyone. This has been such a treat. It's been such a treat to have Randy and China on here as well. And
Thanks for
hopefully,
having us. Hope we didn't
absolutely.
scare you guys away.
Anytime. I mean, like I said earlier, like I would love to, have more Macabre live streams as the whole
Yeah.
process goes on,
I
because
think we should.
I think we should do that. It's the law now.
yeah.
Set.
Especially
Yeah.
while the campaign's going.
I think while the campaign is going, we should jump on and do a couple more of these, and especially with the wonderful team of people who have gathered here tonight to go and grab more people and bring them in so that they can hear about what we're doing, and we can rile them up and get them excited too.
And maybe we can have some other people on,
we can
I'm sure I could talk to Harvey about it for sure and be like, Harvey, get your British ass on here.
Oh God, that's going to be something, isn't it? That's going to be a very interesting stream.
Maybe get Siobhan, get Isaiah perhaps, and just
yes. Oh my God, I love Isaiah. I love giving him shit. I can't wait.
Yeah, and Isaiah, because we didn't even really mention him very much, but like just a brilliant cinematographer. And I watched his movie Clotilda the other night, and just like it's a short film, and just watching it, just like how pristine everything looked. Like it's just like it looked better than things that are like in the theaters right now, and I just feel so blessed that he's on our team, and that Randy, you're able to bring someone like Isaiah into the project, because he's going to make this movie look good. Like we're that awesome. I think that was maybe a fear. Yeah, I think that was a fear going into this, is that people were going to just perceive this as like, oh cool, like Zach's making a movie on a hope and a prayer, and that's not the case. Like we have great people behind this project that we're going to get funded, and this is going to be a great looking proof of concept to be a phenomenal movie. So that's our
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
And like, just to kind of piggyback on that, and I'll try to keep it short. When you're filming, it's more than just the equipment that you have. Like I've seen some, and we've all seen some crap that was professional, shot on the most expensive equipment you've ever seen in your life.
Yep.
And you get someone like Isaiah, who this is like, he lives and breathes it, and it's more than just, oh, let me set up this scene and shoot it. No, it's about the feeling. It's about what is this conveying. It's about, and some of this too is like, you can't really teach it. You can't really teach some of this stuff. Like, you can take a cinematography course, but there's certain people like Isaiah
that have an eye for it.
That just have an eye for it. Yeah, and that's just
talented.
You can't teach talent.
Yeah.
You can foster it, nourish it, develop it, but you can't teach talent. And on the campaign, we actually do have a small section of it that represents the screens as an example of the kind of quality of films that Randy and I have made in the past. And there is a trailer on there where you can get a glimpse of the beautiful visuals of the film, and see what Isaiah and I did together, and get a taste of that. I strongly recommend checking that out.
And what's funny is that did not exist on the page until yesterday, because I was just like, wait a minute, why is this not on here? And went in before we launched and got it all in there. So yeah.
Yep.
And that's that. Thank you everyone for coming out and backing the project, supporting the project, spreading the word, hanging out with us, asking us your questions, challenging us with your questions. It's been a really good time, and
it's been so fun.
I had a blast, man.
We're all very excited. Yeah. So we
and a live stream before, so this was super fun.
And you were a natural.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the hair.
and we're almost at $10,000. We're so close to $10,000.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like unbelievable when we hit that milestone of $10,000. That's going to be like, in the first day, $10,000. Mm-hmm. That is a massive percentage.
Yeah,
that's 25%.
That's huge.
No.
That's our entire post-production budget right there.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
this for us.
Yeah, it is.
So do I. And you know, like the lovely people in the chat have been pointing everyone where to go to the Kickstarter, but I mean all of the link is in the description, you know, if you're watching this after the fact. And the links to all of our social medias for Macabre the movie are down there too, and for the landing page as well. I want to get some people onto the landing page because that's going to be, you know, when the production of the movie starts to happen, you're going to get updates there as well, so you can join the mailing list. And yeah, I think that's all we want to really say before we just kind of peter out here. Unless anyone else had something to add.
I think that we're good. I think that we
that's
have
it.
we have come here to accomplish what we have accomplished, and what an incredible family of wonderful people who have joined us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. Everyone's been so lovely, and I'm just like, it's so awesome. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Ah,
It's been
Sweet.
awesome.
Love.
Yeah.
so
Well-
much love, so much good vibes, so much positive energy. Namaste. Love
Now,
to see
Zach, you need to sleep tonight, my
Zach,
friend.
go to bed.
I will. I will. Thank you. Thank you. And we will be right back.
All right. See ya.